And here's something I can't believe I have not reported on yet. This story was released May 21st. How did I miss this? Anyhow, here it is. Russian professor suggests rocket mishap caused infamous Dyatlov Pass incident. Now, for those unfamiliar with the Dyatlov Pass incident, supposedly a Yeti killed a bunch of hikers. Supposedly. That's the story that was going around because of a photo of a mysterious entity, which may have been most likely a person. Anyhow, here's the story. A Russian professor has offered a fresh take on the long-standing theory that the infamous Dyatlov Pass incident was caused by a rocket launch gone wrong. The 1959 case, wherein 9 hikers perished under bizarre circumstances in the Ural Mountains, has been considerable speculation for decades. Among the countless competing theories for what occurred that night is that the group's tragic fate was brought about by a rocket mishap that was subsequently covered up by Soviet officials. Gee, Soviet officials covering something up? You don't mean it. The scenario was reportedly put forward again last week by a Russian professor who was nearly a member of the Dune Party himself. A friend of group leader Igor Dyatlov, Petr Bartolome, was a proverbial late scratch on the 1959 trip and later became a doctor of technical sciences at Russia's Ural Federal University. As one might imagine, his near miss and personal connection to the case resulted in the professor taking a keen interest in determining what caused the terrible event. At a press conference last week, Bartolome presented his case for the rocket theory often suggested by other researchers. The professor specifically argued that the preservation of the group's footprints over a vast distance indicated nitrogen acid exposure in the environment. So, I'll leave you guys to read the rest of this. So, no, this was not a Yeti attack. As was suggested, it was a special back in the mid 2010s called Russian Yeti The Killer Lives, which talked about this case. But no, it wasn't a Yeti, it was a rocket mishap. So for those who are trying to claim, well, that Dyatlov Pass, that was a Yeti that did that. No, it wasn't. Now, they may have tried to cut themselves out of their own tents after perhaps they heard the rocket go off. But no, it wasn't a Yeti. So let's just drop that little tidbit right now on you because it wasn't a Yeti. It was a rocket mishap. That's all it ever was. From the Bigfoot Crossing channel, there's a 6-part series called October 6, 1958, a very slow news day. And there's 6 parts to it, featuring that was the day the Jerry Crew went to the Eureka Times Standard, or was it called something else at that time? It was either Eureka Times Standard or can't remember the name of the other name of the newspaper. The Humboldt Times. That was the name of the other name of the newspaper. It was either called the Humboldt Times, the Eureka Times Standard. I think it was the Eureka Times Standard, but I'm not 100% sure. I have to go back in my history and look again. I want to say it was the Eureka Times Standard, though. Anyway, point being, Jerry Crew went to that newspaper with the cast that he made of the alleged Bigfoot, which was casted by him. The footprints were seen by him, and he cast the one footprint on the instructions of Bob Titmus. So it's a 6-part series, so you guys might want to check it out. Looks like it's pretty interesting. For some strange reason, I myself have not checked out the series. I think I do need to. so I will check it out at some point. Now here's something interesting from coasttocoastam.com, and it's not Rocky Mountain Sasquatch either. Watch, Bigfoot filmed near Colorado River.
Than a normal size man. Dude!
Yeah, it's creepy.
Look at my phone, you can see it.
Wait, I want to see it in the phone.
I want to see too.
Not moving like a man.
Oh my goodness.
Dude, that's weird.
It's definitely. Guys, come look in the phone. You can see it.
It's definitely something. Plotting against us. We come in peace.
We come in.
I can't zoom in any more than this.
I know. The air's gonna keep flying down again.
Dude, what are you kidding? Are they ribbing us with this? Are they absolutely ribbing us with this? That's a guy in a costume. Give me a break. This is supposed to be the great new footage of Sasquatch? No, it's not. I got news for you. It's a guy in a costume. You can tell it's a guy in a costume. The way they're acting. You can see the freaking folds in the suit, for crying out loud. Are they ribbing us with this? It's a guy in a suit, period. That's what it is. So, better luck next time, Coast to Coast, as your credibility continues to sink, as you post hoaxes like this, and an obvious hoax at that. Finally, there was a recent search for the Loch Ness Monster. It came up empty, unfortunately, but it did end with some underwater footage that could be evidence of Nessie. The huge search used remotely operated vehicles and baited camera traps and captured incredible footage of huge pike for the first time, possible evidence of food for the famous beast. And here's a pike right here. The Loch Ness Center has finished a huge search of Loch Ness as it continues its goal of uncovering the loch's mysteries, and the team may have found evidence of the famous monster's potential food source. The quest, which took place May 22nd to the 25th, saw hundreds of budding monster hunters scour the 23-mile-long loch for unusual activity, both in person and online. For the first time, remotely operated vehicles controlled by Little Loch Broom Marine Life were used throughout the quest weekend in an attempt to capture the first underwater image of the famous beast. Well, now that's not exactly true that it's the first underwater image. If those images of the flippers are real from the 70s, this was accompanied by baited camera traps fitted with GoPro cameras and lights placed in strategic locations to capture any signs of wildlife. Although an elusive beast, the baited camera traps captured incredible footage of pike and salmon, believed to be the first time they have been seen on camera in the loch. Expert hunters believe this could be evidence of food to sustain a giant monster and a significant step closer to solving the mystery. Another remarkable discovery during the search weekend, the ROVs also unearthed a relic from one of Loch Ness's most renowned monster hunters, Dr. Robert Rhines. Cabling from his original 1970s strobe light equipment used in his groundbreaking underwater expeditions to capture images of Nessie was found resting deep in the loch's sediment. Alongside the cabling, the ROV also uncovered the ruins of the old Temple Pier, from where historic British racer John Cobb set off in his attempt to break the world water speed record, a tragic endeavor that ultimately cost him his life. These historic find marks serve as a tribute to the enduring legacy of those who have dedicated their lives to solving the mystery of Loch Ness, both past and present. As I said, I didn't really find anything other than what appears to be evidence of possible food sources. But that's about it. Oh well, better luck next time. And that's going to do it for this week. We want to thank you very much for tuning in. You guys are the heart of the show. I always say that, I always mean it. I will continue to do this as long as you guys want me to. And for 10 years now, this has been going on. And here's to another 10 years. And until 2 weeks from now, y'all be good or be good at it. It's HBM's Cryptid-Corner.